Hi everyone and welcome to my mini series of Juice Along with Jason, the classics. And none of them get more classic than what we are about to make. This is the very now infamous turbocharged smoothie. And I'll be honest, this is one of my go-tos every single day. If you're looking for what I call a bad boy, something that has virtually everything that you require in it, but yet still tastes sweet enough. So if you're just getting into it for the first time and you don't want it to taste too earthy, even children love this, I would recommend the turbocharged smoothie. Here's what you're gonna need. Your juicer and your blender. This is a smoothie, combination of the two. We're only actually gonna blend a little bit of ice, optional, and of course, some avocado. So what you're gonna require, a couple of apples for this, lime peeled. You don't have to if you're in a hurry, you haven't got to. I do because otherwise it's too zesty for me. And the original recipe, and after all it is a classic, called for the lime to be peeled. Try and leave as much of the pith on as possible. It's not always easy to do so. Spinach, a nice generous handful of spinach, a stick of celery. There is, those of you who are reading this recipe and you think, well, hang on, I followed the one in the famous 7-day plan, but that's a mini version of it. So that's half a stick of celery and so on. Just follow this one. This is the Turbo Classic, okay? You need about that much cucumber. That's why I like doing videos rather than try to explain what I mean. That much cucumber. I put some pineapple in as well. So we've got about, if you had a medium pineapple and you sliced about an inch of pineapple and then you take off the rind, that's how much pineapple I have. I also have half an avocado here. I'm gonna be using, it's a medium-sized avocado, so I'm gonna use about 3/4, otherwise it might be too thick. However, you can gauge it as you go along. I've got some ginger here, not in the original turbocharged smoothie recipe, but if you want to give a little bit of a kick. So in one of the books, there is turbo with a kick, and you can do that. I think that's in the 5-day challenge book. Like I said, you're gonna need your juice in your blender. We're gonna juice virtually all the ingredients except the avocados. Now I'm using a cold press juicer. If you're first time joining us, so sorry to repeat the same points for those that are juice veterans, but if there are any juice virgins watching, they say, well, unless I'm using a cold press juicer, Jace, is it worth doing it in one of the fast juicers? Yes, absolutely, 100%. The only real difference is that the heat that's applied in one of those fast juicers. We're talking 10 to 15,000 revs per minute, as opposed to 65 revs per minute. And it's the difference that you have like in olive oils, cold press olive oils. The quality of the juice is just better and it doesn't oxidize as quickly. But if you've got a fast juicer, still rock and roll with it. You just need to drink the juice, or the smoothie to be more accurate, as close to making it as possible. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna keep the drip stop down and just allow it to build up in the reservoir. Now here's the key thing. We're using fresh spinach for this. So especially if you have a fast juicer, the harder the fruit or veg, the more juice you're gonna get. So you want to put an apple in your juicer first. If you have a fast juicer, don't even keep it going yet. And then pack the other apple in between it and make it as tight as you can, turn on the juicer and then put it through. Then you're gonna get juice from spinach. Otherwise, you're gonna put it into a fast juicer, 10 to 15,000 revs per minute, it's just gonna throw it into the back container, into the pulp container, you're gonna get no juice. Now, if you're using cold press juicer, you don't really need to do that. It's designed for green leafy vegetables. So I'm gonna put that in. Be careful, there's a blade just at the top of these kind of juicers. What's that, Jace? What juicer am I using? Well, happens to be the Juice Master Pro cold press juicer. What, is it on sale? Yes, it is. Stop it, it's too crap. Anyway, look, then we're gonna open that up. Freshly extracted apple juice, freshly extracted spinach. We're gonna add some cucumber going in. Like I said, we're just gonna top the reservoir there. In fact, if you've got one of these juicers, put the celery in last, because otherwise it just kind of sticks a little bit. So we're just gonna add the lime in, add the pineapple in. I might give a little bit of ginger in with this. Actually, no, because I want to keep it authentic. This is meant to be the classics. Now we're just gonna open that up and all that juice, that cold pressed juice is gonna come out. Celery's last to go in. So we're just gonna push some of this around and to make sure that we get all the juice coming out. Let that crunch that, just give that lovely cold press juice. Give it a little bit of time to come out. In the meantime, get your blender, and what we're gonna do is I'm gonna add some ice, and that's the biggest ice cube in the world, isn't it? That's the biggest ice cube in the world. Allow that cold pressed juice to keep coming out. Like I said, I'm going to use about 3/4 of the avocado with a little bit of ice. And again, if you want to jazz it, oh, shall I do a little bit more? Do a little bit more. If you want to jazz it up at all, but then it wouldn't be the classic, but you can add things like protein powders or anything like that. But I would just say keep this as authentic as possible. Pour the juice in. And now we're just going to have a little bit of edit magic. We're just going to put this on the hard fruit and veg, and we're going to blend that for about 30 to 50 seconds. So you just want to make sure that it's nice and smooth. Take that off. It doesn't matter what blender you use. Just make sure that it's nice and smooth. A lot of good blenders out there at the moment. What's that? I'm using the Juice Master Super Blend. Stop asking these questions, really, honestly. Do you know what that is about? That's about as perfect as it always was. We talk about classics. It's just, what's going to come through already, I know. The lime gives it a little bit of a kick. You have the pineapple, that extra bromelain that helps to break down excess proteins in the body. You also have the beautiful celery. You've got the cucumber, natural diuretic going on in there. But more importantly, you've got the avocado. It's blended. That's what gives it its richness, its thickness. That's what means this isn't like a meal. This is a meal. It just, to every time, it's got a distinctive taste. Those of you who are juice veterans, done my stuff before, you'll know. And if you haven't made a turbo in a while, go back to basics, because that has everything you require. And by the way, first thing in the morning, wake up, bit of hot water and lemon, go and exercise, come back in, give it about 15, 20 minutes, then make one of these bad boys and just drink it slowly. And again, if you don't feel like it straight away, because not everybody's hungry in the morning, I'm not normally, make one of those, put it in a flask, take it to work, have it for lunch. This is a perfect meal replacement. You're never going to drink one of these and regret doing it. I tell you that now. There it is. The classic of all classics. Juice Along with Jason. The turbocharged smoothie. It doesn't get more retro than that bad boy.